Dermal redirection is what we call Taika's striking method. He didn't advocate a lot of makiwara work. In fact, he wrote that it was pretty much a waste of time in his book, Rute no Michi. If you do makiwara, the makiwara can only go one direction, straight, linear. You put your punch into it, you learn to strike hard, but you don't learn to redirect, which is something that made Taika's strikes very effective. Being able to move your wrist, like with the tonfa, nunchaku, tanbo, those were very important aspects to the training that we did. Whenever he would punch, once he just barely penetrated the skin layer, his wrist would curl right or left, and the bag, in this case, would turn. So if he struck and moved his wrist out, the body would turn to the side. So if you have a bag like this, most of them do not swivel, but you can take them apart, break the glue or baffles that are in there, and make it swivel, and this is some pretty good practice. You can practice your parries, punch, and then if I flex my wrist to the inside, it turns. So touch and flex. I am not just doing wrist motion, I also use my body to turn as I do that motion. So I can go right, I can go left, with my body, with my hand, and it'll make a big difference on the opponent's ability to take that kinetic energy going into it. It'll shift their hips, as I'll show once I get to my partner here in a minute. All right, so now I'm going to show you with a live body. I'm going to do natural stance, and I'm going to have them have right leg forward and left leg forward and kind of show you the difference. So humans naturally brace for impact. They naturally line up their body. Since their birth, they've been falling and bracing for impact. He, as he sees this coming, you see, even though I didn't hit him, he braced for impact and kind of leaned into it. Human body naturally sees motions, whether I'm kicking, punching, or whatever I'm doing. He sees that, his brain interprets the math of a linear strike. So if I strike his belly, he braces for impact. Now I'm not hitting it real hard, but he braces for impact. If Taika did any little flexion or extension motion, or a spiral kind of tonfa or nunchaku motion, then he's seeing linear motion, but as it impacts, and again I'm not going very hard, you see what happens. As I touch, I'm shifting his hips because my wrist is breaking in a different direction. So that's happening the second I touch his body, basically going into the dermal level, just touching his skin. So I'm going to go this direction, and you see what happens. He pivots, and his weight goes there. If I go here, went outside, so his weight shifted there. If he steps right foot forward, so right now, his body has changed a little bit. His back leg is kind of support. So if I go this direction, back towards the back screen here, if I go that direction, I'm going into his support leg. If I go this direction, there's no support. This is an open void back here. He switches. So right now, his back leg is here. If I flex my wrist and go that direction, I'm going into his support leg. If I go the other way, I disrupt him. And there's all sorts of variations that you can do there. I can come up, and you see his shoulders come up. I can drop down and it kind of pushes him back. That was just straight motion into his torso, into his belly. Anytime I'm striking anything on his body, if I come across here and go, we'll say just kind of the old inside block motion, he interprets the direction of my strike, and so his arm, you see, I didn't actually hit it, but you saw what he did. He braced for impact. So if, once I hit the dermal level, I hit the skin and make just a little bit of penetration into that, I change directions. So instead of going just straight down and he braces for impact, the second I hit, I switch directions. His mind didn't know if I was, he knew because we're sitting here talking about it that I'm going to change directions, but he has no idea which way. So here I am, I go into him, I go straight, see, nothing much happens, and I pull forward that time. Every single one changes the way his body reacts. So back to punches, so to belly, Taika would cover, and let's say he wants that second hand to come towards him. This will seem a little bit like something you wouldn't want to do, but if I want this hand to come towards me, I have to flex, and then see his hand's going to come towards me. If I cover and hit here and do that motion, that hand goes away. Reason Taika may want the hand to come towards him, he may be doing a full windmill and want to get outside of this hand to go to a left arm armbar. So in order to do that, to speed that up, as he comes across here, he switches that, he did deflection, and ends up speeding up that hand past his hand. So there's various things that Taika would do to make their body twist the way he wanted them to.